In the dark early hours of December 6, 1995, a harrowing discovery awaited Essex police officers along a desolate farm track near the village of Rettendon. A Land Rover containing the bodies of 3 men, Patrick Tate, Anthony Tucker, and Craig Rolfe, sat still, its grim cargo revealed by close-range shotgun wounds, each man shot in the head. This scene marked the start of one of the UK's most talked-about murder cases, spawning myths, films, documentaries, and theories that have endured for nearly 3 decades. The victims, collectively known as the Essex Boys, were among the most prominent figures in Essex's drug trade, and their deaths signaled the violent end of a criminal dynasty that ruled the rave scene and narcotics market throughout the 1990s. The 3 murdered men were not only business partners but close friends bound by loyalty and greed. Each member of the trio brought unique skills to their criminal enterprise, allowing them to dominate Essex's lucrative drug trade. Patrick Tate was the muscle and the enforcer, a powerful, intimidating figure known for his erratic behavior and fierce loyalty to his friends. Standing over 6 feet tall with a bodybuilder's physique, Tate had developed a fearsome reputation. He spent much of his life in and out of prison for drug-related offenses and violent acts, serving time for armed robbery. Tate's love of violence was matched only by his dedication to the gym and his appetite for drugs, particularly cocaine and steroids, which further fueled his volatile temper. People who knew Tate saw him as both a dangerous force and a loyal friend, a man willing to go to great lengths to protect those he cared about, but also a ruthless figure with little patience for betrayal. Tony Tucker was the mastermind and businessman of the operation. Known for his connections and influence within the nightclub scene, he had risen from petty crime to control a network of drug suppliers and distributors. Tucker's network of security personnel, which included bouncers and enforcers at various clubs, allowed him to distribute ecstasy and other drugs to the burgeoning rave scene of the 90s. He quickly became known as the kingpin of Essex ecstasy trade, and his ambitions only grew as he cemented his grip on the region's narcotics market. However, unlike Tate, Tucker favored manipulation and intimidation over violence, although he wasn't above calling on Tate's brutal strength to ensure debts were paid or competitors subdued. Craig Rolfe, the youngest of the 3, was often seen as the protege of Tate and Tucker. Serving as their driver and assistant, Rolfe had been involved in crime from a young age, though his reputation was not as formidable as his associates. Rolfe played a quieter role in their operations, acting more as a trusted subordinate than a decision-maker. Despite his lower profile, Rolfe's loyalty to Tate and Tucker was unwavering, and he followed them unquestioningly, even as tensions with other gangs grew. Together, the trio became infamous for their involvement in drug distribution, intimidation tactics, and eventually, double crosses that would seal their fate. The Essex Boys' violent reign was driven by a singular ambition: to become the biggest players in Essex's drug trade, no matter who or what stood in their way. As their criminal enterprise grew, Tate, Tucker, and Rolfe began making enemies in both Essex and beyond. They operated with near impunity, often using intimidation and threats to achieve their ends. Their notoriety escalated, with their reputation for cutting corners and breaking underworld rules. For example, they became known for taxing other drug dealers, essentially robbing competitors, pocketing the cash, and taking drugs for resale. These tactics only intensified after Tate's release from prison, with the trio now eager to expand their empire through any means necessary. In the months leading up to the murders, Tucker and Tate developed a particularly dangerous connection with a man named Michael Steele. Steele, a former drug smuggler and pilot, was known for his ability to bring in large quantities of narcotics via light aircraft and clandestine boat landings. Though Steele was older than the trio, his experience made him an appealing partner, and his skills added a new dimension to the Essex Boys' operations. However, their partnership soured after Steele allegedly sold the trio a faulty batch of drugs, leading to severe financial losses for Tucker and Tate. According to court records, Tate and Tucker were furious. Tate allegedly threatened Steele's life over the perceived betrayal, vowing to kill him if he didn't repay their lost funds. Witnesses later recalled Tate's violent outbursts, stating that he promised Steele would pay one way or another. This feud was cited by prosecutors as the motive behind the murders, with Steele allegedly setting up a fake drug deal to lure the Essex Boys to their deaths. On December 6th, under the guise of a routine meeting, Steele reportedly arranged for the trio to meet him at a secluded location where they were ambushed and executed. However, questions and doubts surrounding the evidence quickly surfaced, leading some to wonder if Steele and his accomplice, Jack Holmes, were truly responsible. The prosecution's case rested heavily on the testimony of Darren Nicholls, who claimed to have been the getaway driver on the night of the murders. Nicholls, a former associate of Steele and Holmes, turned informant, recounting in chilling detail how Steele and Holmes executed the three men and returned to the car, covered in blood. Nicholls' statements were instrumental in securing the convictions of Steele and Holmes, who were sentenced to life imprisonment. However, Nicholls' credibility has come under scrutiny over the years. Defense lawyers argued that Nicholls' testimony was self-serving, as he was granted witness protection and reduced sentencing in exchange for his cooperation. Additionally, critics have pointed out several inconsistencies in his account, as well as a lack of corroborating physical evidence tying Steele or Holmes directly to the scene. Despite these issues, Nicholls' testimony was enough to convince the jury, and the two men were convicted in 1998. Over the years, public fascination with the Essex Boys case has led to numerous alternative theories and fresh investigations. Some believe the murders were the result of a high-level underworld hit, orchestrated by criminal syndicates far beyond Essex. According to these theories, the Essex Boys had angered not just Steele, but other more powerful figures who were displeased with their violent, unpredictable behavior and frequent drug heists. These individuals reportedly saw Tucker, Tate, and Rolfe as liabilities and decided to eliminate them to protect their own interests. One intriguing account comes from a witness identified as Witness I, a former East London criminal who claimed to be involved in organized crime at the highest levels. According to Witness Y, the Essex Boys murders were a carefully planned contract killing ordered by powerful players in East London's criminal network. He stated that the trio's penchant for robbing other dealers, failure to repay debts, and growing presence in the drug market had made them dangerous liabilities. Witness I also alleged that Tucker had taken money from an East London robbery syndicate and refused to return it, effectively signing his own death warrant. Witness I's account details how a meeting was called to address the Essex Boys' transgressions and arrange their murders. In this version, Steele and Holmes were not involved at all. Instead, the hit was executed by professional assassins sent from London. Witness I's statements align with some physical evidence at the crime scene, such as an unidentified footprint near the Range Rover and testimony from a local farmer who heard gunshots at a time that contradicts Nicholls' account. Yet, despite these revelations, this theory has not led to a retrial or new investigation, as it remains challenging to verify Witness I's claims without further physical evidence. Despite ongoing appeals and new information casting doubt on their involvement, Steele still remains behind bars, maintaining his innocence for over 25 years. Their defense team has argued that Nicholls' testimony was unreliable and that new evidence, including Witness I's account, should have warranted a retrial. Additionally, advances in forensic science have raised questions about whether key evidence was mishandled or overlooked during the initial investigation. In recent years, supporters of Steele and Holmes have launched campaigns on social media and through various advocacy groups, calling for the convictions to be overturned. Documentaries, books, and online forums have added fuel to these efforts, examining every facet of the case in search of inconsistencies and overlooked details. The case's notoriety has reached such heights that it now occupies a prominent place in British criminal law, drawing comparisons to other high-profile miscarriages of justice. The murders of the Essex Boys and the ensuing court case have left an indelible mark on British pop culture, inspiring numerous films, books, and TV shows that attempt to unravel the mystery. The most notable of these is the film Essex Boys, which dramatizes the events leading up to the murders and explores the toxic, high-stakes world of Essex's drug trade. The story has also fueled a subculture of online sleuths, bloggers, and conspiracy theorists dedicated to uncovering the truth of what really happened that night on Workhouse Lane. But beyond its entertainment value, the case has raised serious questions about the UK's criminal justice system and the reliability of informant testimony. Steele and Holmes' imprisonment has become a focal point for debates on wrongful conviction, with many arguing that they were scapegoated in a rush to close a sensational case. Despite the official version of events, the Essex Boys' murders remain shrouded in ambiguity. Supporters of Steele and Holmes continue to push for a new investigation, while skeptics point to Witness I's account and other pieces of evidence as reasons to doubt the convictions. The families of Tate, Tucker, and Rolfe, meanwhile, remain haunted by the brutality of the murders and the impact it had on their loved ones. Today, the Essex Boys case stands as a grim reminder of the perils of the criminal underworld and the sometimes murky boundaries of justice. The events leading up to that cold December night reveal a world of deception, betrayal, and ruthlessness, a world where friendship and loyalty ultimately mean little in the face of ambition and greed. Whether Steele and Holmes were truly responsible or not, the Essex Boys' story continues to captivate the public, fueling a debate that shows no signs of being resolved anytime soon. That's it for today's video. Let us know in the comments section what you think of the Essex Boys story, and I will see you on the next video. Stay safe.